Hey everyone, welcome to another episode from Pro Engineering. In this episode, we did pick up a RC car from Banggood. It did come from the manufacturer, and I don't remember what it is exactly. Over here it says it is 1/18 scale. Again, it's been a while since I've ordered it. And the reason why I want to start with the box is because, it did come nicely packaged, it's not damaged. I know people always complain about products from certain vendors, and Banggood and EazyRC did really well on this one here, so that's the reason we're opening it. And ooh, she looks really good. We've got a Jeep, probably completely unbranded. EazyRC is calling this the Arizona. It looks really good. Again, I don't see any Jeep information on here. No. Let's open her up. I'm always really interested in some of these smaller scale RC cars and smaller manufacturers. I'm just curious how good these things are. Packaged very nicely. Tissue paper here to protect the body. Oops. Wow, it's really nice. This, I'm pretty sure, looking at the reflection here, I'm seeing orange peel, so this is definitely painted. Oh, wow, look at that. Fully enclosed undercarriage. That's really nice. Suspension travel is quite nice. Tires are very, very soft. Wow, that's actually really nice. What have we got here? Okay, so we have the charger and a small tool. Probably take off the wheels. Okay, good call. Basic information there. If you don't use the vehicle for an extended period of time, always unplug the battery. I say always unplug the battery the minute you stop driving it, because you never know how long it'll be sitting. All right, so here, just some basic information on the radio. It appears, oh wow, 3 AA batteries. That's interesting. Okay, so to access the battery, we're gonna open the hood. And we even have a list of spare parts, which is very nice. It's showing here a lithium polymer battery. So the hood, oh, I see. It says peel right there. It's just keeping it closed. Hope this doesn't leave crap all over it. A little bit of residue, we'll wipe that off. Probably use some Goo Gone. Okay, so we just, I guess we just open her up. Wow, it's interesting. I actually have to use the little hood pins, the little hood clips here, or what hold the hood down. Come on, there you go. Oh, look at that. The battery's tucked back there. We've got a proper steering servo for the steering. The electronics are nicely laid out. So battery removal here. As a man with some big hands, I'm gonna try and finagle this out. Okay. Wow, look how little that is. Okay, 2S, 380 milliamps. I don't know if this is gonna be charging. Let's just give her a go. We'll just plug that in. Oh, cool. Hang on, did I see a corner marker for a moment? Let's shut this off. Shut this off. So that right there, can you see that? That is the power switch. Not my best choice, but yeah, I mean, I'd rather it was more accessible with the hood shut, but that at least gives you more incentive to pull the battery off if you're not using it. Take a look at the radio. I'm always a big fan of brightly colored things, so, Okay, right off the bat, for someone with a hand my size, it feels stuck. And this is too bad because I like this radio here. And, it's smaller, but it doesn't have this giant thing at the bottom. And because of that, my pinky is unhappy. Even this old Tyco radio, check this thing out. Okay, so this is minuscule by comparison, but it allows me to do this. And I can drive this all day. So that's too bad that this is so squished. I mean, honestly, I'm really pretty unhappy about how my finger feels right now, but let's get beyond that. Okay, that comes off. 3 AA's. The reason this has a screw on it, excuse me as I'm pulling the batteries out, oftentimes things intended for smaller children, this one is 14 years or older, I believe, they still like to have things with screws just in case The radio is dropped, the door pops off, and a battery rolls out. It's dangerous for children. You could put it in their mouth and they could potentially choke on it, so it's usually a good idea to have the screw here. So the wheel itself, the plastic feels cheap, but the mechanism behind it feels very good. There's quite a lot of travel. Here at the back, we have steering trim and throttle trim. I really don't like these tack switches. I prefer a knob, but I mean, you know, they feel good enough. Very, very loud. Yeah, overall, again, just the finger thing here. Turn the car back on, so it automatically knows that it is attached. We don't have to bind it. Let's turn the wheel. Nice. Do you see that? We have turn signals. You know, one thing I never like is when the headlights come on under acceleration. I just wish they were on, but... Do you have reverse lights? So we have red lights at the back. Whatever. Signal? We have a turn signal at least. Yeah, kind of a bummer that we don't actually have lights. It doesn't have an interior either, but given the light tint on the windows, it's hard to tell. Yeah, it is hard to tell. First things first, and I will drive this outside, but it feels really under-geared, which is nice. So I just want to watch my finger here for the throttle. So this is neutral. Reverse seems like you have to push it kind of far. How does it steer? So there's more travel on the wheel than there is the servo. But it still feels pretty responsive. It feels nice. Honestly, the amount of travel in the suspension. The back feels really good. I mean, you see that it almost has some droop in it. The front is quite a lot harder than the rear, but I can see why. There's a lot more weight in the front. Back on the bench after the drive, and I'd like to start off with the negatives. The biggest problem I have with this truck is right here. There is a lot of travel forward and reverse before the truck does anything. And the problem with that is you keep trying to make the truck go forward, so you keep pulling and pulling, and then it just jumps. So it's like you've got to get the timing right on your finger to make it just inch forward instead of just lurch forward. And the same is true reversing. It's like you want to back up, nothing's happening, and then suddenly it just jumps into reverse. And you'll notice that in a lot of the videos where I drive forward and make the car stop, and then I'd pause for 2 seconds, and then it would go into reverse. That's what was happening. So that is my number one complaint. Another problem I have is just, the on and off switch. I think that's really a bad place for it. But again, it does force me to unplug the truck when I have to shut it off. And normally I wouldn't do that. So perhaps, it's irritating for me, but maybe it's not irritating in the long run because it is going to make you do what you should do anyway. I was driving the truck for about 30 minutes and it never died. I mean, it drove really well. Where it wasn't driving well was on the bigger rocks. Now this, first off, is a small car, not even a foot long. It's not going to be a rock crawler. And that was where my initial problems were, is I was trying to make it do things it shouldn't. Now, with that said, it did a lot of stuff that I was pretty blown away by, but this is a trail truck. The question is, do you want one? Well, if you're into Jeeps, it's really hard to pass up this body because it really is beautiful. So with that said, that may be a good way to push you over the edge to actually get yourself one of these. If you are looking for something smaller scale, this is $110. I cannot build a WPL to this level for any less than that. But the thing is, this comes out of the box ready to go. Again, the radio is surprisingly good. The throttle, it may be something that you get used to over time, but for me, it was very irritating. With that said, will I drive this on the trails in the future when I go out with the family? Absolutely. I like these smaller scale trucks because I can pack more of them into an already packed full-size car. So this thing here is absolutely going to be a go-to for me because of its size, because of its scale appearance, because it's completely enclosed underneath. The battery life was fantastic. And the remote wasn't nearly as annoying as I thought with being a little bit too small here. I just kind of drove it, like this, and it was fine. So I really like this truck. If you're looking at something for more intensive rock crawling, then no, this isn't for you. This is definitely a small trail truck for trails that are, capable of handling such a small vehicle. If you do want one of these, there is an affiliate link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a lot of fun to play with, and I do plan on bringing this to the office because there's a little trail next to us, and I think I can just stuff this in one of the drawers and be perfectly content with this little guy. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.